This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, the program is called Visual Impressions, and all we do here is celebrate creative people amongst us. My name is Chioma Okpara. Let's start right away. We're starting with Kolade Oshinowo's solo exhibition, which is titled Silhouette. Let me confess to you, when I walked into the exhibition hall, I was surprised. Yes, I could recognize his colors. He likes to use subtle colors, not bright colors, but his style was just different. Okay, if you're watching the show for the first time, Kolade Oshinowo is one of the legends of our time. I think I should stop talking and just allow you to see the exhibition. Kolade Oshinowo has remained consistent in his chosen field for about 4 decades. His paintings habitually center on the daily experiences of people. He enjoys paying attention to details. For one who has been exhibiting since 1972, this particular show, which is titled Silhouette, is an exploration and exploitation of fabrics.
I chose the fabric because of their pattern. Because of their pattern and because of their texture. So it was a deliberate attempt. And then, of course, because of their colors. My tailor looked at me in a funny way, and he actually asked what I was going to do with it. He asked because he couldn't. They packed them to be thrown away. I look at this big man coming and collecting, trash. So he was confused. When I collect the fabrics, the first thing I do is to sort them into color schemes. The blues, the greens, the reds, the browns, and so on. Those that will fuse together, And then, of course, I begin a process of tearing and rearranging and so on. Where some of the patterns are so bold, I use acrylic paint to subdue them so that they can harmonize before I start to work.
He represented all classes of women.
The essence is to portray beauty and culture through these wastes. Have you seen our women dress up? It's amazing. That is why I'm mostly inspired by the Nigerian environment. When I go to the UK, I tell them the place really doesn't shock me, if I can use that word, because it's all grays and blacks and so on. I tell some of them, have you been to an African market? A woman could be wearing an attire that has all the colors in the rainbow, and he's selling pepper, tomatoes, red, pepper is red, onions, green. Combine that with what she's wearing, you have a beautiful painting already,
Some of the works were inspired by concrete images found in his compound.
There was power cord that was in my compound, and there was this, pavement, and I was looking at them, and I saw images, and some of the images, inspired some of the paintings you are seeing here. In some of them, I have actually put the photograph of those images so that people can make a connection between the concrete floor image and the painting.
He emphasizes that he's greatly inspired by his immediate environment.
While I was working, we had the fuel subsidy removal, and there was crisis. it just occurred to me that I needed to say something at that particular time. So if you look at the painting, you will see that what I have used as a symbol is actually the Nigerian flag, because it was actually all about Nigeria.
Many who have followed his art since 1972 are fascinated by his new approach.
Kolade is my colleague, friends, in the arts together for many years. And I really wonder how we can afford to be so prolific in what he produces, and the quality and the variety of what he does. I really congratulate him that at this point in time, he can still produce what we are seeing here today.
This is another work of a genius, Kolade Oshinowo. It seems there is no limit to his ingenuity. He's always coming up with very great artistic works, and I'm highly impressed.
Kolade Oshinowo is a prolific painter. In 2004, he received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award from the federal government. He has also won a Restore Award in Tanzania, amongst others. One wonders what he will come up with next.
An artist shouldn't be predictable. An artist shouldn't be predictable. Art is dynamic. You know, you need to break new grounds. There are possibilities that I have not explored. So I'm going to keep working on it and then see how far I can stretch it.
With 23 solo exhibitions to his credit, Kolade Oshinowo says he remains relevant in the visual arts subsector. Welcome back. That was Kolade Oshinowo, a great artist. We were not done with looking at fabrics. Many of us were fascinated to see an exhibition put up by the National Museum, Lagos. Well, if you're one of those that's never been to the museum, I'm sure that by the time you finish watching this report, you make a resolution to visit the museum at least once a month. And I know you wouldn't go alone. You go with everybody in your family. Stay. Traditional outfit can be described as an exemplary form of local cohesion and identification. So, it is not a surprise that manufacturers of textiles ingeniously do it in a way that it can suit different regions. This exhibition, which opened at the National Museum Lagos, is titled African Lace.
Lace has been popularized largely by the Yorubas of the Southwest, and Lagos, I think, epitomizes what is Yoruba, especially in terms of this Ashobi culture, the culture of Unku, for instance, the people wearing the same thing for occasions and things like that. And again, of course, it's about trading. You know, most of the lace materials come to Nigeria through Lagos, and they're traded here largely. So these are the reasons why we feel that the exhibition of this kind of exhibition should be held here in Lagos before it moves elsewhere.
Indeed, lace is not indigenous to Nigeria, but it has become part of us.
Many people around the world have had the opportunity of seeing and admiring the brightly colored or snow white lace dresses worn by Nigerians to commemorate one occasion or the other. This exhibition, apart from being intended to showcase African lace in Nigeria in a variety of perspectives, it also complies with one of the key areas of museum work, and that is preserving cultural heritage, communicating knowledge, and demonstrating the important role of museums as centers of research on material culture.
Majority of lace fabrics in the market are imports from Austria.
This is where
Nigeria and Austria meet.
in the supply
Chain of high-end fashion design, and with Nigeria at the very top of the value chain.
Over 50 years now, the Austrian embroidery industry is producing this fabric, particularly for Nigeria. It's a very special style that is produced for Nigeria. And throughout this trade relationship, there's a special connection between Austria and Nigeria. And it's basically a joint product, because all the ideas, the color preferences, the style preferences come from Nigeria, and then it's produced in Austria, and then here it's crafted to this beautiful fashion the people are wearing.
Many believe that the Austrian lace is of good quality and designed to suit changing trends and stylistic preferences in Nigeria. Art enthusiasts are of the opinion that it is high time we preserved such.
The introduction of lace into Nigerian society started at the marketplace, but that we started in the marketplace has found a way into the museum, and that is why our museum is also a marketplace.
This exhibition brought together people from different walks of life.
There have been strong links between the British Museum and the National Museum of Lagos for a number of years. The recent highlights have been the Kingdom of Ife exhibition in London last year, and the visit of the Duke of Gloucester, the patron of the British Museum, to the Lagos Museum last October.
I've taken a run, and this is the second run I'm about to take. I think it all goes well for the Nigerian Museum to be able to undertake a project of this magnitude that is focused on an item that resonates with the people, which is, I think, a very important dimension, so that the museum is not seen as essentially confined to the past. I think the museum in this particular show seems to be reinventing itself, making itself much more relative and relevant.
It is beautiful, it is aesthetically appealing, it is refreshing in its bloom.
What I see here is nice. It's encouraging, like the lace. Actually, I hated like lace before. So I saw it for the first time, I saw the design they made. I loved it, and I actually want to start something like a business, like shoemaking something. So now go to clothes. So and I said, actually, that wasn't part of my plan to add it like lace or anything to it. And then I also designed. I was amazed.
I'm highly impressed because creativity is my way of life, and when I see a promotion in that or an advancement in Nigerian environment in this way, I'm impressed and I like to be part of it as I'm around.
Even children didn't want to be told about it.
I've seen some beautiful dresses, some beautiful things like Igbo dresses and Yoruba dress, and I've seen everything so beautiful.
I've seen the fabrics, all the traditional wears in this museum, and what the TVs wear, the Yorubas wear, and all of them are beautiful.
I've seen fabrics, I've seen the traditional wears and everything. I've seen plenty things that are beautiful here.
The National Commission for Museums and Monuments is poised for changes.
Largely, this is a translation of the vision that I have since coming on board as the Director General of this commission, to make the museum a place where we can be able to define our reality by appreciating our past, and so that we will be able to address contemporary problems and plan a future for ourselves.
Art is in everything we do, and the museum remains a place where works of art are preserved. What more can I say? Yes, we have challenges, but there's still a lot to thank God for as a nation. One of them being the ability given to artists to ingeniously produce beautiful works of art. Let's tell you about another artist who decided to shock everyone that knows him. Alex Nwokolo is known for his paintings, but in his recent solo exhibition, he used a variety of materials to produce beautiful works of art in different media. This is his exhibition. Alex Nwokolo studied fine arts up to master's level. He majored in painting, but here we see an artist who is not afraid to experiment. He uses ordinary materials to make extraordinary art pieces. He titled his solo exhibition, Authenticity of Thought.
Within a body of thought, there's an attitude to it. I mean, here, the originality of my thinking, that is authenticity of thought. About me, it's not about what I've seen or what I've heard or what I've experienced completely in terms of books that I've read. It's a research, that I embarked on. And basing my teams on that research, and at the end of the day, I looked at the body of works and asked myself, how can you give this exhibition a theme? So, the title Authenticity of Thought came about.
This multimedia artist has used corrugated iron, can, wire mesh, printer plate, enamel plate, and colorful fabrics to produce art that is acceptable to all.
We are in the urban room. All the works here are titled Urban 1 to 4. The idea actually came to me long time ago, because you will also see that in my rooftops. I love rooftops. So when I fly and I look through the window of the plane, what I see on the ground is the urban area. All these things are broken into simple geometric shapes. So the idea here is about in the air and you're looking down, everything is flat and a very simple geometric shape. So what I've done here is, with that, the origin of the idea, I now went further to kind of compose them in such a way that we can actually stand in front of the image, of the picture, of the artwork, and also feel a bit of, you call it abstract, they are really abstract, it's still about designing. The theme, I've taken my subject from my idea from where I told you, and I've brought it on a two-dimensional surface, creating a 3D effect on them, and then redesigning them, because you need texture and whatever elements that appeal to me within the time I was actually putting this stuff together to design, so that when you stand in front of it, they speak to you. The other room, I had the holding cell, which is another body of work, which also speaks about detention camps for immigrants, for people who are not yet taken to the law court to be convicted, So, which is also done with paper mache and enamel paint. The other room, I had my reconfigured fabrics, On the reconfigured fabric section, I played with African prints, normally called Ankara, and that's what I have there. Works like Parallel Lives and Reconfigured Fabric 1 and 2, So, and then on the other section, I have works like Guantanamo Bay, Black Maria, Crusade, social networking, and subsidy arrest. Subsidy arrest is one of our experiences here.
Alex Nwokolo has practiced art for more than 28 years. He has had 8 solo exhibitions and participated in over 50 group shows. Many see him as one who is prolific and also versatile.
The impression is quite positive. I think Alex has done quite well in this exhibition. I'm very keen on artworks that show an interest on materiality, on the physical qualities of the objects, and I think on this Alex is quite strong.
The work gives me too much emotion.
He set out to surprise everyone, and it seems he's achieved that. So, what will he come up with next?
It's been a recurring attitude. This is not the first time I'm doing this. And I know it's not going to be the last time. Because whether I like it or not, I've always experienced that the way people view me and the way people challenge me in terms of what is coming out next. Do you understand how I'm not linear. I am a multimedia artist. I paint, I do a bit of sculpture, I do mixed media, I can sew, and I do a lot of designs. I dreamt within this period. I really thought, real thinking within this period. You know, but whether you dream, you think, or whatever, if you cannot compose, this work should have been lacking in organization. And I actually intended to shock the audience. And I'm happy I'm achieving that, you know, because there's a big smile on my face. I have been able to actually shock a lot of people. And that is the aim of this exhibition.
This exhibition clearly shows that this painter has dumped the brush, knife, and palette and taken the pliers, glue, and cutter. Well done, Alex Nwokolo. Now to another big name in our world. David Dale's name sounds foreign, but he's one of us. He was born to an English father and a Nigerian mother. He belongs to the class you'd call accomplished artists. Some time ago, he was sick, very sick. He was in coma for 12 days, but thank God, the worst did not happen. Let's invite him to share that experience with us.
This happened about 3 years ago. It was also for iodide that got into my lymphatic fluid, and then later on, about 3 years later, it became a very major stroke that struck me. But initially, when I noticed the problem of iodide 3 years ago, I went to a very popular Lagos hospital where they told me they would do all they can, but I would need to go to England or America to get my drugs. I went to the States, I went to England to get drugs, and drugs they had a terrible side effect. But over time, Abadu Bello Teaching Hospital now told me that they have arranged for me to see some 2 free doctors who are visiting Nigeria at Abuja. So I went there. So the 2 doctors said I should come back, I should tell them what's been happening to me. And I told them. They said, okay. They are Westerners, but they don't use Western medicine to treat.
They recommended some drugs that worked like magic, he says.
That side of iodide now had gone off eventually. No, what I'm fighting now is stroke, which happened in September, and up till now I'm still fighting.
Part of the healing process involved a speech therapy, but with considerable spirit, he went through it.
I've survived it, but I have to do therapy now, speech, this one, that one, but it's all working.
At first, he worked for 2 hours in a day, but he says things are really looking up for him.
Initially, it was 2 hours of work. Then I said, would it be 2 hours only? But now 8 hours. 8 hours will become 14 hours. 14 hours will become 20 hours.
David Dale is a pace setter. He has successfully worked in over 23 media. Not even a bad experience has made him less experimental. In less than 6 months, he produced 20 new works.
When a problem is a small problem, we say, okay, it's a small problem, we jump to it, jump at it. When it is a very hard problem, then we jump at it twice as hard. And that's what I've done.
In appreciation to God for sparing the life of this legend, the art community will celebrate him with a soiree.
A late afternoon activity. David Dale is being larger than life. I think it's a gift to the world of arts that we have somebody so multi-talented as David Dale. I must say that it's not versatile. I don't see any sculpture by David Dale. For those that we are celebrating, a combination of brush, paintbrush, and also sculpture. David Dale, of course, has his talents in printmaking, in deep etching, in metal foil. So his spread of knowledge has touched other genres.
At 64, David Dale is grateful to God for making him a great graphic artist, muralist, painter, sculptor, printmaker, and stained glass maker. In the art world, we celebrate people when they're alive. Let them hear all the good things said about them whilst alive. Well, that's been our offering. My name is Chioma Okpara. Same time next week, by God's grace, we'll be here. Until then, be creative in all you do.